GTA Online is almost 11 years old, and oh boy, I'm starting to feel it. But today we're gonna look back on the old times, the good times maybe, or the bad times depending on your experience, and talk about 20 things that only day one players will remember. Let's go. And we can't go far without mentioning the bounties. When the game launched, the bounty system was completely broken and modders and cheaters just abused this system like crazy. You would have multi-million-dollar bounties on someone, maybe even billion-dollar bounties on some people, which was a way for a modder to give someone millions or billions of dollars. Yeah, you think money glitches are crazy now? No, back in the day, back in my day, God, I feel old, people used to collect multi-million-dollar bounties and get rich just by killing one person. At number 2, we've got the Chrome Adder. Why was this a thing? Why was this so cool? Well, back in 2013, the Adder was the most expensive car in the game, so of course everyone wanted it, and the most expensive paint job was chrome. So you put the most expensive paint job on the most expensive car and you've got something pretty cool. You might even remember some people getting an entire garage full of chrome supercars. Nowadays we look at chrome and think it's not very cool, but back in 2013 I promise you everyone wanted it. At number 3 we have the load times. Yeah, you can't talk about GTA Online's launch without talking about the load times. The matchmaking was an absolute mess. It was so hard to get in a lobby. If you think the load times are bad now, it has nothing on 2013. Back on the PS3 or Xbox 360, you'd be sitting in the clouds for 5, 10, maybe even 15 or more minutes just to see if you could get in a lobby, and a lot of the time you wouldn't even get in. There would be a matchmaking error and you'd have to try all over again. I miss a lot of things about 2013 GTA, but this is definitely not one of them. And moving on to number 4, even worse than getting stuck in the clouds is losing your character. Now this seems absolutely crazy now in 2024. The concept of your character just getting deleted like that is absolutely insane, but I promise you this was a thing. I had characters that were like level 50, 60 that just got wiped and deleted off the face of the earth. I'd play the game for like 3 or 4 days non-stop and then boom, that character is deleted, gone forever. Thankfully this isn't a thing anymore, and Rockstar did patch it kind of quickly, but not before millions of players got their characters deleted multiple times. Next, we have to talk about the first time you got given money by a modder. Bounties weren't the only way that hackers and modders could give you millions of dollars. Money drops were absolutely everywhere. A lot of the time this still happens on PC, but back in 2013 it was basically every single lobby. In every lobby there'd be someone just giving out millions and millions of dollars in these paper bags, and everyone in the lobby would go over there and start collecting the money. Sort of like an underground drug deal, but just for GTA money. Next we have saving up for the Eclipse Towers apartment. The most expensive property when the game launched was $400,000 in the Eclipse Towers, and if you had this apartment, everyone in that lobby knew that you were rich. It doesn't happen so much now, but inviting friends over to your apartment in-game actually happened a lot back in 2013. Not many people could afford this apartment, so getting invited to one of these apartments was really cool. You get to check out one of the coolest places in the entire game. You could just chill out, drink, smoke, and yeah, that was actually about it. You couldn't start heists or anything, so you just sort of sat there and drank with your friends. Next, we have money grinding in 2 main ways. The first is Rooftop Rumble, and for anyone who didn't do Rooftop Rumble, like me, I didn't really play it much, it was Violent Duct from Gerald. Those were the 2 contact missions that everyone would grind over and over and over and over and over and over and over again to try and get enough money to buy the Adder, the most expensive apartment, anything that you wanted. And these missions would only pay out about $10,000 on hard. So you had to do these missions hundreds of times to get whatever you wanted. Seems crazy nowadays, seeing as we can just run Cayo Perico like once or twice, but it was a completely different game back then. The hustle was real. If either of those missions, Rooftop Rumble or Violent Duct, brought back some good memories, leave a thumbs up on the video. And next, we have to talk about one of the other ways to get money for the players that didn't know about these missions, because there were a lot, and for those players, you were probably just running around robbing every single convenience store you could. This was actually the very first thing when I logged into GTA Online on day 1, October 1, 2013. I got 2 friends, we stole a car, and we went around robbing all of the convenience stores that we could find. I don't know if you remember back in the day as well when you had to like yell into your microphone at the shop clerk to make them put the money in the bag faster. Yeah, that was certainly an interesting time. Maybe one of the best memories I have from back in 2013 is when there were no flying vehicles. I mean, of course, there were some flying vehicles, but they were so expensive that really no one could afford them. So if you ever saw anyone in a helicopter flying around the map, you knew they were absolutely loaded. They had so much money. Because pretty much the only time you would see any aircraft in the air is when someone had a laser jet from Fort Zancudo, or they went and stole a helicopter or a plane down from the airport. Simpler times. At the end of 2013, Rockstar launched the Zentorno, and when this car came out, absolutely everyone bought it. Not just because it's a really cool car, but also because it was pretty much completely bulletproof from the back. Which meant this was actually a really effective way to kill other players by reversing into them so that they couldn't shoot you through the back window, and then throwing sticky bombs at them to blow them up. Depending on which end of that exchange you were on, I either brought back some really good memories or some really bad memories, so maybe I'm sorry about that. Next, we have to talk about money trucks. Now, yes, these money trucks are in the game again. They got reintroduced back into GTA Online in 2023, but in 2013, this was just a completely different experience. Back then, the trucks only dropped a few $1,000s, but because money was so hard to make, whenever one of these trucks would spawn on the map, everyone in the lobby would rush to it as fast as they possibly could to try and get that money. I promise you, no matter how crazy the business battles you've been in GTA Online are, they had nothing on the 2013 money trucks. That was an absolute war zone. Next, we have stopping the train. Now, I'm sure not every single player tried to do this, but I kind of feel bad for you if you didn't. Trying to stop the train with some of your friends was just one of the best memories I have in this game. And these are the types of things that make a game like GTA Online so special. Throwing as many explosives as you can, getting the heaviest vehicle and trying to park it in front of the train, just doing crazy stuff to try and stop this train, brings back some really good memories. Next, we have Johnny on the Spot, the mechanic. Now, he was removed from GTA Online in early 2014, but your mechanic actually used to drive the car to you when you called him and then hop out and let you start driving. But he would bug out so much and just drive away sometimes, running off with your car. And sometimes he'd even hop out and try and fight you for some reason. There were just so many bugs that Rockstar had to get rid of him. But if you did play when he was in the game, I'm sure you do have some good memories of trying to chase him down to get your car back, or just shooting him once he drops your car off. Yeah, that poor guy probably took more bullets than the casino valet. But what about jumping the fence at Fort Zancudo? I don't even know if this is just a day one thing. I think everyone has jumped the fence to try and steal a jet, no? It's kind of strange now though, because you can buy your own laser jet in 2024. But in 2013, you couldn't buy any jets. So stealing a jet from Fort Zancudo was like the most effective PvP strategy ever. I still remember how intense it was when we didn't have like armored cars or anything. You jump the fence, try and dodge all of the tanks and military and cops coming at you, try and get to the jet before they kill you or blow you up, and then fly off with the jet just in time, escaping all of the tank shells. That was a rush. That was a rush I don't really get in this game anymore. Kind of miss that. Of course, now we can just summon a helicopter right next to us whenever we want. But back in the day, one of the easiest ways to get out of a sticky situation was actually requesting a Merryweather pickup helicopter and then shooting the pilot and taking the heli for yourself. That's kind of a theme with this video. Instead of actually buying the helicopters and jets, we would just steal them from other people. Next, do you remember spam changing sessions over and over and over again trying to join a modded lobby when the game first came out? Because you're not alone. It normally didn't take us too long because there were modders in almost every lobby. In fact, my friends and I would actually split up and we'd all find different lobbies, and when someone had a modder that was dropping money, everyone would join that person. Giving money to friends is one of the things I miss most. You used to be able to just give your friends as much money as you want. Nowadays, yes, you can still give your friends a tiny amount of money, but it's not really going to make much of a difference. Back when the game launched, you could give your friends as much money as you wanted, and it made the game a lot easier for players who were just getting into the game. Rockstar removed it though. I think we all know why, because people wouldn't buy shark cards if their friends could just give them money, but still, that's something I miss a lot. What I also miss is the crate drops. We spoke about the armored trucks earlier, and another one of these random events were crate drops. Look, free mode events nowadays are pretty cool. You've got Hunt the Beast, you've got your business battles, all of those random free mode do the most damage events, but nothing will ever top the memories I have of an entire lobby fighting over a tiny crate, because back then everyone was just trying to make any bit of money that you could. Ground fireworks. This is still like one of the most rare items in the entire game because you can't get them anymore. Of course we have the firework launcher, but you used to be able to buy ground fireworks that just go off like a normal firework would. Rockstar removed them a long time ago, but if you remember these, you're definitely an OG player. But who remembers the original character creator? Nowadays, you just pick a mother and a father for your character, but back when the game launched, you had to pick grandparents and parents. It was absolutely wild. In order to assign your stats as well, you had to tell the game what your character was doing in their off time. Things like sleeping, partying, drinking, doing legal activities. It was absolutely wild. But what about actually caring about your level? That's something I kind of miss. Nowadays, new players can kind of just cheese things and get almost any weapon or vehicle at any level. But back in 2013, leveling up was a really big deal. Getting to rank 100 would let you buy the RPG at Ammunition, level 120 would let you get the minigun, and those were basically two of the best, or maybe the two best weapons in the game. But now there's just so many ways to get these guns before you reach level 100, which is definitely good for new players, but grinding out levels is something I definitely miss. Finding expensive rare cars and selling them to LS Customs. Look, finding rare cars in 2024 is still a thing. They're still cool vehicles to have. But back when money was hard to come by, actually getting these rare cars was a big deal because you could sell them to LS Customs for more money than normal cars. So hunting at night for a vehicle like the Sentinel XS was actually a decent way to get money. Being scared of a Rhino tank. This is something I miss. Nowadays, I'm more so scared of something like a Raiju jet or a Strike Force or an Oppressor Mark II. But back when the game launched, the king of Los Santos was the Rhino tank. There were no armored vehicles. Basically, no one had any aircraft. So if someone was in a Rhino tank, you had basically no chance of taking them out unless you were in a Rhino tank yourself. Oh man, take me back to those days. Those were the days. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more stuff like this, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Boys!
Favorite color, money green. I've been on my grind since I was in the 7th grade. Had my first kid, I was only 17. Always a provider for my pack like Wolverines. But you won't find me on the mountaintop.